All right, we're back with Aboana, but now we have Scales McDuck at the helm. So yeah, Chaos, another random map, same kind of stuff. So yeah, now we have gone just absolute scales. These are like literally perfect scales, the preferred temperature. In order to pull that off, we have an Imprisoned God. I think this one is like Nature 2. So literally no bless, pretty much like no, magic support from our Pretender. So this is just, purely focused on like, well, what if this nation just has all the resources and money that it could possibly want? Like, how does it expand? Like, how does it feel? Can it actually use all these scales? So yeah, gonna go through expansion again. Probably going to build, to like one like pivotal early battle, with another power, our friendly Marcata, or also somewhere on this map, and then yeah, see how it goes. All right, so we're gonna try just adding, more of the same units to the starting army. Like these guys performed pretty well in our last game, and like these archers seem decent. These guys don't have shields, so it's a little bit risky, combining more archers with them. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. And then after that, probably going to aim at like trying a expansion party of just these guys who I don't expect to do great, but they at least have a big shield. They're just going to melt, no protection, but the really low resource cost is attractive, right? While we don't have a lot of connections. And like, yeah, I like to kind of just try like an expansion party of a lot of different kinds of units and like sort of just, see what works, see what doesn't work. I think a lot of times the best expansions, you're going to take advantage of like multiple different types of your troops. Certainly sometimes there's a really strong option, right? And you can just kind of ignore everything and just use that, to solve all your problems. Not every nation's like that, and even in the case where you have really strong options, knowing like what your other troops are good at and not good at can sometimes be relevant. So we're probably going to try an expansion group of these guys. Not expecting him to do great. After that, I'm not sure. Getting some more assassins, we have them. I kind of like assassin expansion anyway, in case you haven't noticed. So yeah, we're gonna, this is probably our only round of assassin recruitment for this. So yeah, that's what we're doing here. And now on the other side of the map, Scales McDuck. Same story. I think this guy is fire too, but perfect scales and basically no magic support, absolutely no bless. So yeah, I'll catch you guys after the cut. All right, and we've got a pretty similar story over here. So we are recruiting, let's see, some of these, these spear champions. That's an important discovery I made about this nation. Everyone is actually a champion. Oh, except the javelin thrower. I don't know why he's not a champion. Especially like this guy, he's a champ. I think his name's a little too long, but I don't know. Everyone is a champion, no matter who we recruit, except the javelin throwers. Probably not going to bother with them. Mostly these guys just cheap on the resources. They have a shield, which will be nice to combine with our starting army, and they get a throwing axe, which could be cool, I guess. We'll see. Would like to get a few more archers to help out, but they actually are fairly resource intensive. So yeah, we're just gonna have the archers that we start with, and then a few more assassins, because sure, we got them. Why not? All right, turn 2. You play a lot of Misfortune when you see an event and think, oh god, but we have full luck. Hey, luck doesn't always work out, especially early. Do we actually have? Yeah, we have our full scales. So luck is no defense. I think it's only 30%, 40%. Increased or improved odds, 30% more better events, whatever that means. You pull from better events. Who knows? I haven't really seen a convincing analysis of how good luck is, so I pretty much go off gut feel, and that did not feel great. So not cool luck. What do we have going on? Yeah, this is a decent assassin, crossbowman. All the more reason for our assassins to get rid of that for us. Oops, apologies. I was about to suck you into the micro. I'll see you guys after the cut. All right, and this is what we have planned. We're going to go in against this wolf tribe, mostly because it doesn't look like there's too many, here. Not super complicated, just going to be holding back. Archers are a bit going to be our bane, although at least with this group, we have archers to kind of counterfire. They'll be spread out in front, and then, hopefully these guys will chew up any wolf tribe that get close to us. And then, of course, we're going to be doing our assassinating down here. And then for our second group, we're just going to be recruiting an absolute boatload of these guys. We might actually go through like a second round of recruitment. This is fairly gold intensive, right? And recruitment points ends up being the limiting factor here, which, I think I recall. Yeah, we're mostly recruitment point focused, but again, sort of demonstrates this like, well, do we really need like that full 3 productivity like ever? Probably not, especially because like this is without any connections, right? So this is as low, so definitely not. But again, right, just going full scales to see like, okay, this is like grossly in excess, like we're never going to be able to use all these resources. And then just grabbing a couple commanders who will be leading our expansion parties. We're gonna have serious arrow problems as this nation. Like this dude has like no protection. These guys, like, there's not a whole lot of protection, like no protection on this guy. It's not a lot of protection running around on this nation. That's gonna be interesting. That's what we have going on, and no events on the other side of the lake, so I'll see you guys after the cut. Alright, and this is what we have planned on the Marcata side of things. Actually going to shift our assassins to get rid of this heavy cavalry. Not too many heavy cav, but if we don't have to deal with them, great. And then, this looks like a fairly easy province, so we're sending our starting army in, just mixed in, the guys that we recruited, so we'll see how this front line does. Not a ton of archers, it'll be interesting to see how this initial army works out. Otherwise, just recruiting 2 commanders, and then, more of these like spear guys, probably going to go through a second round of recruitment at least, to bulk out that second group. And then, not really sure. A lot of these options are like pretty similar. Maybe try some of these guys. They are very gold expensive, but, with more hit points and like decent skills, they might do okay. Protection is low, and I find that, they have a shield. It's only a buckler, which is not great. It's a lot of range fire when it comes to indies generally. So I find that if you can get a hold of a unit with a big shield, that usually helps with expansion. And then a lot of times like a spear, like for repels and stuff, is really looking at like survivability for a lot of expansion parties. This guy's got a shield, and with hit points he'll be a bit more survivable, but I don't know, we'll see. But gonna try a lot of different options. These guys have like maybe more units than are probably useful, so I don't know if we're gonna try like all of these options for expansion, but at least like a couple different types. That's what we have planned here. Alright, our first Scales expansion battle. Let's see how this goes. The starting army did pretty well last time, under the Hellblessed conditions, though we did add some of the, Hellblessed tigers to it. Although, I think the army did decently well without the tigers, but we'll see if that's true. A decent amount of archers, but our archers are nice and spread out. We might get a little friendly fire here from our own archers hitting the infantry. I just set them to fire because either way, right? It's like if they shoot at the archers, that's kind of good. If our guys shoot at their front line, that's also kind of good. So dealer's choice. Oftentimes I feel like the archers, if you just set them to fire and don't specify a target, good things happen. And sometimes they actually can target like the back line that way, which you cannot explicitly set fire orders for the back line, but they can choose it on their own. So if you just tell them to fire, sometimes happy days, they see a big old ball of squishy mages and they're like, yeah, that looks like a good target, and rock on, archers. That looks like it works out just fine. We lose one of our frontline units. Just shy of 40 wolf tribe. That's not a bad expansion, I would say. Let's see if our assassin, he did just fine against regular commander. So I'll see you guys after the cut. All right, and this is what we have planned. We're going to send our starting army into a decent amount of woodsmen who most of the time are really, really easy, and then every once in a while they absolutely shit on some expansion party and surprise you. Woodsmen kind of always terrify me a little bit, but it should be totally fine. And then we're going to go through a second round of recruitment and just get an absolute crap ton of these guys, and then probably throw them in against this province, and then because really archers are not going to be great, so like for the archers we'll see, probably going to go through a round of maybe just these guys, or maybe even the cavalry, although we probably can't get enough and their protection is so low. Anyway, yeah. And then we're just getting a cheap mage here to start a little research. So yeah, that's what we have planned. All right, and over on the Marcata side of things, in spirit, even though we are steering clear of those Marcata this playthrough, this is a pretty easy province, and we get to start shooting almost immediately because longbows have a lot of range. So these guys are just set to attack, so yeah, nobody's going to be throwing their spears. We don't have a lot of protection, so we don't love that javelin fire. Luckily, our archers are targeting, these more lightly armored guys who are in the back throwing their javelins, so we're getting less friendly fire. It's looking bloody, but we do get the rout on the heavies, and now we're probably going to lose some guys to some friendly fire. Yep, there goes our front line routing. Oh boy. Not clean. Let's see, the morale on these guys, it's actually not half bad. I mean, it's not great, but that's maybe a little unlucky, although, we did take a decent number of casualties. Actually, these guys have better morale, but do these guys? No, they have the same. Okay. So yeah, that looks like it was not a great addition to the starting army. Not a very convincing start here. But yeah, I'll see you guys after the cut. All right, and this is what we have planned. I don't really think this is viable as an expansion force anymore, so we're sending it home. We are playing scales, so we do have a good amount of money, so we're putting in a bid for these mercenaries. Luckily, we know the other nation is not bidding on it, so we will get that. But that is something to consider. If you're playing a scales build, you usually have quite a bit of money early on, because you can't really, fully take advantage of your gold. You don't have enough infrastructure, so mercenaries are a good way to take advantage of that early on. And then, we are just, rounding out this next expansion group. We're just going to throw in the dregs, into like one just massive group of these kind of like light monkey spear champions and see how they do. Probably, against some wolf tribe. So we'll see how that goes. After that, we might try to round out that initial army by just getting a bunch more longbowmen and just kind of see how like an all longbowman squad expands. I think there'll be some targets that they'll do okay against, and other targets they won't really be able to handle. Resources might be a bit of a problem here simply just because of our start. We don't have a lot of connections to our capital, but yeah, that's kind of what we have planned here for these guys. All right, and over in Abawana, looks like our assassins have finished up in that province, so we'll be able to take that this turn, and we have a battle. Let's see. Oh, you're right. The woodsman. Should be fine. I don't see any. There's no bloodhenge druids or anything like that hiding out. This guy does have a couple of nature gems, which is not fantastic. But it should be fine. They just get some crappy bows and then the darts, which put people to sleep, but don't really do much in the way of damage usually. And certainly the blowpipes don't do well in melee. Yeah, they don't have great morale either, so we get the rout real quick there, and our archers keep their archers busy for the most part. Looks like a little bit of sleep or something coming out, but yeah, it's totally fine. Like I said, woodsmen usually very, very easy, and then every once in a while you get that miserable fail. So yeah, we do not lose too much there. That's perfectly acceptable expansion, and I'll see you guys after the cut. All right, this is what we have planned. We just have a commander who's going to pick this up from our assassins. They're going to move on and grab this province for us, and then we are sending all of our really light spearmen against this province. We'll see. I think, these guys, if they do succeed, it's probably going to be high attrition. This is kind of a best case scenario for them because there's no archers here. The heavy infantry might be a bit of a problem if the light infantry have javelins. That's not going to be great. But yeah, they're definitely going to melt even to wolf tribe archers, I suspect. And then our starting army we are sending into here. This is really the only place they can go that's going to be useful. Heavy cav, always a little scary, although, our frontline guys here have been doing pretty well. I think they totally can handle heavy cavalry. So, yeah, it'll just be kind of a question of, well, how many. So yeah, otherwise we are recruiting, a bunch more of these Predator Impalers because they are kind of our heaviest armored guys. We do have more resources now, although it is still a bit of a problem. But again, that's mostly because we only own one connection from our cap circle. So yeah, we'll probably do a second round of recruitment of them, and send the commander that we're sending out here back, and then he'll go up against these wolf tribe. Yeah, I mean we don't have a lot in the way of like high protection, which is kind of what you want when you're dealing with wolf tribe. So we're gonna use these guys and see how it goes. I think they'll probably win, but decent amount of attrition. And then yeah, we'll see where we go from there. And our other assassins are also doing quite well, it looks like. Do we have any losses? Nope. Yeah, mounted commanders, not too hard. Hey, this is actually a positive event. That's nice. I think that's in our capital. And then yeah, we bought some mercenaries, and yeah, we had no battles. Not a good sign. So this seems to be struggling a bit in terms of scales, and then of course also struggled, a bit. It struggled a lot when trying to help bless the sacred. So, kind of an indicator that like maybe this is a weaker nation, although, it could just be that we haven't like found the right combination of units, and like, there's so much that goes into like a Dominions nation and everything, and you can very easily make a snap judgment that is incorrect. But certainly I am struggling a little bit more with this nation to find something that works. So yeah, see you guys after the jump. All right, and this is what we have planned. Yeah, definitely noticing ending up with a lot more gold, with this nation. So they don't seem quite as gold intensive as Abawana. And possibly like mercenaries, right, might be a bigger deal for this nation in terms of expanding. I think some nations really do kind of need to prioritize like trying to grab some mercenary groups early on to help with expansion, and these guys might fall into that category. Speaking of, we have some mercenaries going after some Jaguar tribe. Should be no problem. And then, of course, we're clearing out the province that our assassins have prepared for us. And then we are sending our monkey squad, not, too complicated, just a box of monkeys. And, they're going to go and fight these wolf tribe. I don't have high confidence here, so we'll see how that goes. Recruitment-wise, we are going to give, some of these champions, everybody's a champion, some of these Bandar champions a shot. We'll probably go through like 2 turns of recruitment for them. I think that might be overkill, but, since I don't really know these units yet, going to try for a bit of a larger group, and we won't have a commander ready yet anyway. And then research-wise, we're going to aim at like early evocation. I don't necessarily recommend evocation as like a first school. It's very mage-intensive to use it in combat, which kind of sucks for an early war. I mean, yeah, you always need research, but you really, really need research early on. So you have to mobilize like all your mages, for a war, like right out the gate. That's pretty rough. But we're just messing around here. Like, let's see how some early evocation magic does, kind of in a early pitched battle. Our research is going to be significantly worse, right? Because our god is imprisoned. So, we are maybe going to see like a difference in research level, for that early like turn 15, 16 battle. Although we might be able to get more mages up since we have more money for more infrastructure, but it's so early that it probably won't make much of a difference. So we'll actually see kind of a lower level of research, which is another reason that evocation is kind of attractive, because even at evocation 2, right, we're going to get lightning bolt, and then at evocation 3 we'll get fireball. And we have mages that can take advantage of that, right? Let's see, we have these fire 2s running around, right? So they're going to be able to do our fire stuff for us. And then these guys, we will need a little bit of thaumaturgy. But once we get that, they can communion together and, do all of our air stuff for us. So, yeah, we're going to give it a shot, and we'll see how that goes. All right, back to the realm of Abawana. Always a good sign when you see, 3 battles against independents. No bumps, of course. Pretty unlikely in this setting, and yeah, this is against the heavy cav. Not too many, it's always more heavy cav than you'd hoped. 0 heavy cav would be best, but yeah, it does work out. These impalers, like, they're pretty good. They're basically like elite warriors with nets. They get Oh, wait a minute. They only have a bite? Oh, wait, no, this guy lost an arm. Okay, I was like, holy moly. Yeah, so they have a spear instead of a trident. So they're actually, this guy's been weakened. But I do think they're a bit of a downgrade in terms of overall damage compared to Elite Warriors. But, the net is an interesting addition, and I do think it's helping us out. I think that was a little bloody. Yeah, we lose about half of our front lines. That's not great, but, heavy cav, that's going to happen. Not the end of the world. And yeah, here we just have a line of garbage infantry, and we will see how it does against pretty garbage independent infantry, just militia. Yeah, and looks like these light infantry do have javelins, but it is mostly militia, which is good because yeah, you can see our guys they don't love javelins. They aren't doing fantastic against this militia. We'll see how they do. I mean, there's enough of them, these poor heavy infantry, they're just going to get mobbed. But, you can see, we struggle a little bit. There's definitely some chip damage there coming through, but it's fine. We work it out, and, numbers, there's a certain quality to quantity. And yeah, we only lose 6 guys, considering we have over 60 in our expansion party. This is still totally viable, although I do think it's one of those things where when it swings against us, it's gonna swing against us hard. But it works out there, and then this should just be our fellow cleaning out the results of Assassins, and a good event. Hey, some extra gold. That is very nice. Thank you, luck. In theory, everything that good happens is because you took those luck scales. Is how I like to think about it, even though definitely not true. So yeah, we'll see you guys after the jump. All right, and this is what we have planned for this turn. We can see that sadly this group here, right, of basically naked men. They get their choices of a bunch of ranged units or a bunch of ranged units. So yeah, we're gonna send them in. Jaguar tribe aren't super scary, but everybody in Jaguar tribe is a slinger. So there's gonna be a lot of rocks raining down. We do have decent shields, so yeah, we'll see. We have the numbers. It's probably gonna be bloody though, and we'll probably highlight an issue with this style of expansion group. Otherwise, we're gonna send our main army in here. Ooh, I didn't see that's too many heavy cavalry. Changed my mind. They don't really have a ton of great options. Yeah, I think we would probably lose that. This is only militia and light cavalry in theory, although there could be some cataphracts hiding in there. This seems suspicious, but sometimes there's nothing else here. Militia are terrible, so we should do fine, but there's just a lot of arrow fire. We don't have too much left. So anyway, we'll see. This is probably going to fail, but that's how it goes. And then otherwise, just preparing our next expansion group, we're probably going to give a shot of just using these, a lot of champions over here too. Our bowmen here, and just use a group of bow expanders. Yeah, these guys aren't half bad. We should be able to pump out quite a few of them. They actually have a little bit of protection for an archer. In melee, they're not gonna do great, but they actually have a decent weapon, so they're not gonna do miserably either. So yeah, just gonna give it a shot. Otherwise, we're gonna send our impalers up into these wolf tribe, and gold is a little bit of a concern, which is kind of crazy to be saying. Obviously we're full scales here, so the gold situation is never really gonna be better, although it depends a bit on what kind of provinces spawn around you. But yeah, we don't actually have a ton of leftover gold. Infrastructure we're gonna have to cut recruitment for infrastructure. So these guys was able to recruit quite a few of them, but their gold cost is standard, right? So they actually cost a decent amount to upkeep for what they offer. So that's not fantastic. And then, of course, we've talked before, these impalers, are actually, more expensive, significantly more expensive than average. So quite a few, expensive options, or at least not, cheap options. I think these guys, yeah, it's standard, right? So it's not, super costly. But, it does kind of highlight that this nation seems to be a little more gold hungry, at least out the gate, without worrying too much about the mages. So anyway, that's what we have planned. Oh yeah, for research, I decided to just again go for alteration. I think that's a good enough target for this this nation. They have a good amount of nature, so they're gonna like the bugs at alt 4, and then of course that also provides the whole luck and body ethereal, which works well with their astral. So we're gonna go with that again for this nation. I'm not saying it's the best, but easy choice, should be solid. All right, and we have a triple expand for our Marcata in Spirit, which is a good sign. Yeah, this is just us clearing out the Assassin province. Excellent. And then this is some actual expansion. I think this is just the mercenary group. So here you are, Bernard's Brave Men. They are pikemen. And pikemen aren't great. Apparently they were better in earlier versions of Dominions where the repel rules were different. But these pikemen do just fine against Jaguar tribe, despite not having shields. But yeah, no losses whatsoever. I guess, their armor is decent. Jaguar tribe are pretty miserable. Slings do not deal a lot of damage. And then, here's our square of monkeys. They are actually set to hold an attack, which, I don't know, we'll see. I think that's the right move. We're just hoping to force the archers to shoot us at long. Oh, no. I forgot to script the commander. Oh, no, he's just going in. Oh, disaster. Yeah, this stuff happens. At least he's, fairly... he might live. He might live. And I did give him a couple bodyguards. Oh, and he has a throwing axe? Oh, his throwing axe just saved his life. Does he have another one? Oh, thank heavens. He's got 2 throwing axes. Don't worry, folks. Everything is fine. But anyway, we want the archers shooting at us at pretty long range. And thank God the monkey square arrives in time. And we're gonna take some losses here, definitely. But the numbers tell. We do have shields. I think these are just bucklers, which seems to be pretty standard on this. Oh no, our commander, really, buddy? Did he get? No, he didn't even get battle fright, and he's bleeding. Did he get? He got hit with an arrow, didn't he? Yep. This is why you want him in the back. And not a ton of protection here. Protection not big on this nation, and it looks like this squad routed anyway. So, ouch. Maybe we could have won that, but it didn't work out. And these, I'm not impressed. These guys do not seem great. Maybe if we, had them use their throwing axes, but I doubt it. So that does not work out. That's a failure, not a miserable failure, but still hurts. And then luck. This is probably could be a sight around here. If we're gonna play this game longer, we would definitely want to try to chase this down. But we'll see you guys after the jump. All right, and this is what we have planned. We are going to send in our much reduced box of monkeys into those wolf tribe a second time. There's only archers left, so assuming we can close the distance, we'll hopefully be able to close that out. That'll be the end of that group, but using those guys for expansion doesn't seem great. Maybe they'll do better against other targets. I have higher hopes for these Bandar, so we're sending our commander back to collect them, and then I'm not sure where they'll go yet. Somewhere useful. We're going to send our mercenaries into a bunch of wolf tribe. We'll see how that goes. I don't really know how these pikemen do. And then we're building a couple of commanders so that we'll, hopefully we'll get some infrastructure started pretty soon. I will be a turn late because I should have recruited some commanders last turn. But it's a test game, so not too worried about perfect expansion. And then, recruitment wise, just finishing these guys out, getting another mage, and that's what we have planned. All right, things going a little better in Abawana. Let's see, our assassins doing just fine against indie commanders, 3 for 3, very nice. And then some battles. So let's see, this is, our starting army, much reduced. Yeah, there you go. Right, no heavy cavalry in that scout report, and lo and behold, some heavy cavalry, but there's not much. So I still think this is better than going against that other province. And that's probably going to be all she wrote for our front line, and I think we're screwed now. Because, our archers they're not going to be able to seal the deal against these cavalry. And that is one downside of using the skirmish line. Is that, I think if we'd been in maybe a box or a regular line, we would have had a shot at winning. But when you're in the sparse line, it really reduces your melee density. So it just helps in archer battles, but God help you, if your archers get into melee. And that's usually not the plan anyway, to put your archers into melee. So yeah. But it did not help us there. So that doesn't work out. But that starting army got us, quite a few provinces. So, this faction actually seems like they have a pretty good starting army. And, just adding more of the same seemed like a reasonable choice. I think, honestly, even our Unblessed Sacreds maybe would have been a decent choice. The main problem there is their protection is so low that I do think they're going to get sniped by ranged fire. Speaking of, yeah, this is pretty painful coming in. The lines are helping us. Lines better than boxes if you're facing a lot of ranged attacks. And yeah, one of our squads manages to wipe out like the smaller squad. It would be nice if, don't worry about the routers. Come help. We need help. Other squad needs help. But yeah, it works out. It's a bit bloody, I think. Definitely like starting to pick up a lot of afflictions. Like, we have like just a bunch of trailing guys with their limps and they're, being crippled. Yeah, 22. So we lose about a third of that expansion group. But we still have quite a few units. If there's a weak province on the other side of this, yeah, they could expand. But yeah, wouldn't be slamming these guys, into a bunch of range stuff. For 43 Jaguars, the Jaguar tribe, this is not great results, but that's how it goes. And yeah, right, some trolls. Come on, luck. So yeah, see you guys after the cut. All right, this is what we have planned for this turn. So we're going to send our group of impalers in against that wolf tribe. So we'll see how that goes. We're going to assume that our assassins are going to do well and clear this. And so we're just going to have a commander take it. And then we're sending our prophet home, who will lead our next expansion group, which is going to be archers. And, it's kind of, we're getting kind of down to it. This might be our last expansion group here. And then maybe start to think about, kind of that final battle. And then, of course, we're not recruiting a ton of archers because we are starting our infrastructure, actually on time. So that's nice. Like to see that. And yeah, I think that covers it. And over on the other side of the lake, we have more assassins. Yep, they clean up regular commanders just fine. Looks like, for both these factions, their assassins are basically equivalent to the vanilla assassins. And then, yeah, we have a couple of battles. I think this is our mercenaries again. And the eagle-eyed among you will already know the result of this, since we could see it from our other turn that we did. But yeah, this is not, they don't love the arrow fire. You can see a lot of damage popping up there. But they do, turn around the front line of the wolf tribe pretty easily. And then, of course, once they start meleeing the archers, that is no problem. But there are some casualties there. Fewer than I expected. But yeah, probably the afflictions are starting to stack up on these guys. But that's fine. They're mercenaries. So the mercenary side of expansion has gone just fine for this faction. But, well, let's see how the regular troops are doing. Right, this is our much reduced monkey box. Commander is now safely set to hold, and there's only archers left, which is still really scary for these monkeys. And then they close into melee, and then they start getting their butt kicked in melee by archers, and then they run away. So yeah, I think these guys are pretty trashy. And, yeah. They are not recommended. And so, maybe, yeah, certainly their skills are just awful. As you get better at the game, you can kind of just eyeball units and see that it's like, yeah, these guys, they're not going to do very well. I'm not really there yet, so I kind of like to, actually see them in action. And of course, again, sometimes they're going to do better or worse, like against certain opponents. So it's probably even a little too soon to write those particular units off completely, even though they have not done well for us. They may yet have a use. So, it is important to consider that, but they're certainly not going to be my go-to for expansion with this faction. And then, yeah, we found some earth gems, so that's nice. All right, and this is what we have planned. We're just going to slam what's left of our mercenaries who are about to expire into this province, which, has some heavy cavalry. I'm not expecting them to win. Speaking of mercenaries, there are some more available to be hired, so we're throwing in a bid for them. Yeah, mercenaries, like, it's not a reliable way to expand because you don't know what mercenary companies are going to come up and whether you're going to be able to outbid people. So definitely something to consider for expansion, but wouldn't really, sometimes they're going to play greater or lesser roles in your expansion, but you need another plan. And like so far, haven't really found another plan with this nation yet. So we're going to send in, our other Bandar troops, and, so they should clean out these archers, no problem. They've been pretty reduced. And then we're going to send them along and see how they do, against a decent amount of Bear Tribe, who I think actually might stack up decently well, unfortunately, against our units, because Bear Tribe, I think, hit a little harder, if I'm recalling, have some two-handed weapons, maybe. So that's not great, because, the big advantage of these guys is a lot of hit points, so we do not want people who can cut through all that. But, they're going to have to expand into all kinds of different stuff. Ooh, actually, you know what? There's a river here. I missed that. Okay, hang on. Let me adjust a few things. Okay, so actually they are going to go north to this province, after which point, they'll either fight the Bear Tribe, or, would like to expand out this way a little bit more. We should get this with our scout this turn from our assassins, so it kind of depends on what's in this province, and if we can one turn move there. Obviously taking these Bear Tribe isn't really going to leave us with anywhere else to go. It is a little sad to not clear our cap circle. Resources are still kind of a problem for us, but I think we'll probably take this turn of archer recruitment, which is what we're doing. We're going to add it to this force. That should be enough guys to clear out, these wolf tribes. So we'll clear them out next turn, and then we'll get another round of archer recruitment in, right? Come back, pick them up, and then head out and, actually have, hopefully, a viable expansion party. We will be building a fort next turn here as well. Our one turn late, unfortunately, but that's just the nature of it if you forget to recruit commanders. So yeah, I think that covers it. All right, and looks like our assassins are doing pretty well. Yep, priest again with a bodyguard, but no problem for our assassin. And then we didn't find anybody else to assassinate. And then yeah, we have 3 expansion battles. That is a good sign. Hopefully we win some of them. Yeah, let's see. So this is against the wolf tribe. Again, just holding and attacking. We want those archers to be shooting at maximum range. Because, yeah, we have no shields, so we're not going to love this. And then, yeah, we'll see how this goes. The nets, I think, are going to help a good amount against human troops. Yeah, a lot of damage popping up. We get, multiple attacks. I don't think we lost too many in the melee, but, yeah, definitely, oh boy. This, these guys are kind of slow. Not super slow, but decently slow. So trying to close with the archers is a bit rough. This is a case where it's okay, maybe mix in some of that light cavalry. Right? Even just a squad of 6 of them. Now, unfortunately, they're going to melt, so it's going to be a little annoying. We're going to have to basically keep bringing up light cavalry to replace. But anyway, a small squad of light cavalry, right, that's set to run around and attack rear, or attack archers, something like that, just to keep the archer fire off our main line might really help out, right? So again, it's a situation where you got to try different combinations of troops. Right now we're just sticking with all right, I'm just going to recruit a bunch of this one type of troop, send it out, see how it does. But mixing and matching, right, is definitely something that I think you ought to experiment with if you want to find the best expansion for a faction. And it's still early days yet, so we're not bothering with anything like that, but starting to think about it, right? What are the problems that we're running into with some of our units? And those guys are pretty effective. I like them, but they're kind of slow and they don't love archer fire. So what else do we have in our arsenal to help us out with that? Right, we knew this was going to be a bit tough. This is like I said, it's always too much heavy cav. Anytime you look, unless it's I don't know, 1. Yeah, numbers do matter. We are getting some kills, but yeah, oh boy, you can see when the heavy cav attacks. That's that multiple attack, right? The hoof attack is not great, but it is an extra attack. Oh, we get the rout. Wow, can't believe that. Yeah, so both sides rout, but our commander is coming in and yeah, chasing them off, and so that actually works out. Just barely. Oops, that's the battle against with our assassins. So yeah, that is the end of that expansion group, and definitely kind of highlights some of their limits. If you're going to be sending them in against heavy infantry and heavy cav, yeah, they're gonna struggle. But we did manage to pick up the province, so that's 3 successes qualified. And hey, there you go. I think this counteracts the previous bad event that we had. So thank you, luck. See you guys after the jump. All right, and this is what we have planned. We're going to send our impalers on to clean out, this really easy province since they can reach it. They are going to have to backtrack, sadly, because of this tiny little river that I didn't see, but yeah, it's fine. This guy's just going to hang out, maybe build a fort here. Nice central location. It's not a great province, but strategically decent. Lots of connections. Continuing our fort, of course. Moving our assassins forward. We might just try to like YOLO them onto the throne and demonstrate how assassins cannot handle wizards. But yeah, otherwise, like I think this is pretty late to be trying to assassin expand. So realistically, probably wouldn't be able to pick up more provinces. And then yeah, just finishing out like our archer group. So we're having our prophet hang out with the remains of our starting army here, and like this first turn of like half recruitment, and then yeah, we're gonna send out a bunch of archers. They should be able to handle like these jaguar tribe no problem. This would be scary. They could probably handle this though. Militia hate arrow fire, and we can beat light cavalry, I think, in an archer duel. So anyway, yeah, and barbarians, right? That sending archers against barbarians, not bad. Anyway, so yeah, we'll see how that group does. And yeah, I think that covers it.